you like France or the US more? Oh! You trying to give me a trouble? Wait! Hello, beautiful people. My name is Savannah, but on the internet I go by Savvy C, and welcome back to Savvy C Scoop. Today is a special 500. I got 5 on it. Edition of the video. I'm gonna do a special Q&A. I asked on my Instagram, the Savvy C Scoop, for you guys to send me questions. I think it was offline, so it like self-incriminated me to answer. And so I'm just gonna get into these questions. I got a little mono pre-bag here. And yeah, just to celebrate 500 of you who took time to watch my videos, find my channel, however you found it, stumble across it, and hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to me. So let's get into this question. Question number 1. Gonna shake it up. It's very DIY, as you can tell. I'm at my school off of Alma Marceau. This is Quai d'Orsay. My school's like that way. Anyways, I never film outside, so I thought it'd be a change. This is like the hottest day in Paris so far, so I have to film outside. Okay, first question, look with my eyes. How old are you? Okay. 22. I don't know why I took a breath. I'm 22, almost 23. I'm a July baby. Shouts to my fellow Cancers. All right, question number 2. Not too hard. Good way to start. How to deal with homesickness. Ooh, okay, this is a good one. All right. How to deal with homesickness. So for me, that was a huge worrying concern and something I thought about when I first got here. I moved to Paris from the States, from Washington, D.C. And before that, I lived in Texas for college. Went to Baylor University in Waco, Texas. And with, I came here, during early stages of the pandemic and everything. And I was like, okay, how can I come here knowing no one, knowing nothing, coming to a school and an apartment unseen? And so obviously I was really nervous, but I was equally excited, but also very nervous. And I had an anxiety attack before I came here. A whole thing. I'll link the video of my journey here. But how I combat homesickness now that I'm here. One, I would say the biggest thing, and just a piece of advice I would give, what I did, is just connect to your people. So with, when we were in proper quarantine, and everyone's online doing Zooms, FaceTime, Skypes, whatever, Clubhouse meetings, whatever you're doing, do that. I'd say at least once a week with a different person. So if, with my family, we have bi-weekly Zoom calls where we're all together and we just check in. Oh, sorry. This is the worst streak. We all check in with each other and just say hey, what's up in your life? What are you doing since last time we spoke? And that's a good way to see people face to face. So I'd say that's a good thing. So you do with your family, with your friends, whoever else in between. So just contacting people and try to see them face to face back home. Then I would say the second thing is try to make wherever you're living, whether that be Paris, another European city, somewhere maybe around the world that's not your hometown, make that as close to home as you can. So get involved in the community there, join clubs, go out. Now things are opening again. You can whatever your interest is, join that club, join Facebook groups around that club. Just Google a place to pique your interest, whether you're a sports fan, whether you're into music, making music, you're into art, you're into fashion, whatever you're into, just join that and really just deep root yourself in the community. Purposely get lost, but in a safe, during daylight hours. Just really embrace yourself and immerse yourself with the community so that it feels like home away from home, and then still connect to your people from home. I would say those are the best ways to combat homesickness. All right, question number 3. I'll switch hands. My right hand's my dominant hand. Okay. How was it getting around Paris when you first moved and didn't know French? Ooh, okay, good question. So, I'll do the second half. I did know French coming in. Now, did I know a lot? Girl, no. But I was a French minor in college, which helped in the sense of I was familiar with the culture to an extent. I knew some history, some back history, things like that. But speaking wise, and my classes were all taught in French, so I was familiar with the language. But wow, when you get here, regardless, unless you're straight up fluent, comfortably fluent, coming here is a whole different ball game. Like I was like, oh, like I was a French minor in college, even though my last French class, like the last time I was speaking French with people was in December of 2019, my fall semester of college. I was like, oh, I'll be fine, it'll be good, I'll like get my way. No, I believe when I stepped off of Charles de Gaulle when I first got here in September, it was just like it was just it was so overwhelming. So when I first got here, it was just like a lot of hand gestures, finding patient people. Thankfully, in a metropolitan city like Paris, you can find a lot of people who speak just enough English to like get you by, or whatever other language you're speaking. Maybe your native home languages, you can find other people to speak, but it was really difficult when I first got here. So I would say, like, if you're thinking about coming here, you're like getting ready to come here, try to learn like as much basic phrases as you can, and then they'll probably just hear your accent and suss you out. And like, as long as you make that effort with French people, I've noticed they'll like meet you halfway, or like even then some. Like when I first got here, I was struggling, and they'd like be like, oh, like, are you from the UK? Are you from New York? Are you American? Oh no, my questions. Oh Lord. Oh no. Hold up. A mess. Okay. They'd hear my accent. Sorry. This is why I don't film outside. A mess. They'd hear my accent. They'd probably hear your accent. No, you're not fluent in French or strong enough in French to speak, and they just want you to be comfortable. So that's the part for that. And then getting around. Whew, when I say Google, you say maps. My goodness. I think I do a video dedicated to like the public transportation system here, but I just got lost all the time, and I was just tired of getting lost. And I was like, I gotta learn these streets, I gotta learn these arrondissements, I gotta learn these metro stops, I gotta learn these bus stops, train stops, etc., because I just got lost all the time. So it just, in those moments, you know, you can just, it didn't take long. It took me about, I'd say 3 to 5 weeks to like really get the city down. Paris, you know, specifically isn't like, it's obviously, you know, it's a city, but it's not that big. Like it really, you can go anywhere in the city and it takes like 30 minutes. So like absolute tops 30 minutes. So it's doable, you can get around, but just, you know, give yourself grace, ask around, and you know, once you get lost so many times, you'll learn. All right, next up, I lost track of the question, so I'll put the numbers on the screen. Where are you from? Okay, I am from the States, United States of America, good old US of A. I was born in Washington, D.C. proper, in Northwest, then lived in Waldorf, Maryland. So I'm DMV girl, basically, through and through. Lived in Waldorf, Maryland for a bit, then lived in Northeast D.C. a little bit, like on and off, and then my majority of my upbringing, like went through puberty and all of that, in McLean, Virginia, in Fairfax County. So DMV girl through and through, DC, Maryland, Virginia, tri-state area. And then my high school years, I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina, and college years, I lived in Texas, Waco, Texas. And now I'm here. I'm petty. Next question. How did you end up in France? Ooh, okay. I did a super long video about this as well. I'll link the same one I referenced earlier. I ended up in France honestly because of Miss Rona. I lost my job offer with AT&T. I was going to be in Dallas, Texas in their headquarter office. So I was going to be a B2B sales representative. I lost that because of the virus and a few other things. And with everything, that was like my safe adult plan after college, right? You know, and since that fell through and it just like the state of the world just like flipped upside down, I was like, I might as well just like go to Paris. I might as well just go for my dream now while I'm young, single, no kids, nothing holding me back in the States. Like I can get up and go, you know, in a pandemic, it'll be fine. I learned about AUP on LinkedIn of all the places, and it was like this great fit of like an American English-based Anglophone environment in the heart of a metropolitan French-speaking, you know, capital that is Paris. And so yeah, I found on LinkedIn someone from my school was on the board here, and so I reached out to her, and you know, she really cemented it for me and put me on, and I'm forever grateful to her. Shouts to you. And yeah, and then I applied March 17th, March 18th, got in June 4th, paid my deposit like a week or two later, did visa stuff all July, all August, going back and forth, Campus France, my appointment, and then I got here September 15th for grad school. Next question. I am traveling to Paris, parentheses, finally on 16. So you want to join? Laughing emoji. I know it's stupid, but just wanted to ask. Okay, I misunderstand. If I'm considering this correctly. Traveling to 16. Oh, like you're coming here. Okay. Well, welcome. Bienvenue à Paris. You want to like meet up? Oh, okay, sure. I don't know who asked this question. I'll be sure to put the question on the bottom. Comment below. Hit me up on Instagram. You know, we can hit up some museums. The weather is about to be like really rainy and like stormy, so we can't really do anything outside. But I love me a good museum, so hit me up. I'm down. Welcome. But I do work, so you know, keep that in mind. All right, next question. Ooh, sounds a good one. How would you compare the love life of dating? Excuse me. How would you compare the love life of Paris to America? So dating. And I went straight to that. Ooh, where to begin? Again, this is gonna be a whole separate video. I would say, in my experiences thus far being here, that Parisian men, Frenchmen, European men, in comparison to American men, I feel like are just far more passionate and just like far more, I guess, passionate and like more in touch with like their feelings and emotions, at least that I've noticed. And like they'll take things like far quicker than we would in the States. So like apparently I've learned that the concept of dating is an American thing, like the whole like talking phases and like we're exclusive now we're dating, anniversaries, things like that. That's far more of an American concept than a European concept. So in Paris, like guys here and like what I've heard, and again like I've gone on a few dates here, like it's pretty much like, you know, you meet and you go on like 3-4 dates and then it's like you're together. And it's kind of like this unsaid thing of like, oh duh, we're together. Like they don't have to even like explicitly come out and say like, oh, we're together, you're my girlfriend, blah blah blah. But it's kind of just implied. You'll meet the family, meet their like friends, blah blah, and then you're like together for like 2 years, like absolute minimum. Like that's like 2 years is like the average dating time here. Like people, I have like one coworker, she met her now husband when they were in high school and they've been together since. So it's kind of very that culture, unlike in America, very, you know, especially in college, like big on hookup culture, big on, you know, friends with benefits situation ship. Shouts to Snow. You know, this that whole. So I guess Americans, men more rushed, get what they want. European men, what's the rush? Let's just, you know, feel this out. You're with me, I'm with you. Which I think kind of is reflective of like the national ethos as well. So let me know if you want in the comments if you want me to do a separate video on that. I feel like I can go more in depth with that. Next question. Things you like most about France and how you learn the language with a heart. Oh, sending my love to you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the question. Oh, hold on, let me read it again. I literally forgot that fast. Things you like most about France and how you learn. Okay, gosh, okay. I did a video on this as well about ways I'm learning French for free. So I'll answer that part of the question first. What I would say just like best, like I can't really give, I mean, I have been giving advice, but this is kind of what works for me and hopefully it might work for you or some variation of it. Whatever you do in your native language, recreate that in the language you're trying to learn. So like if you're big into sports, if you're big into like celebrity gossip, pop culture, if you're big into art, fashion, whatever you like to, if you're big, you know, cinephile, like whatever you're into, just do that in the language you're trying to learn. So like for me, I watched a lot of like Netflix shows like Dix Pourcent, Lupin, it's a great show. It just came out, part 2 just came out. Watching a lot of French films, listening to podcasts helps me a lot. Reading the news, and then just overall I think just speaking with people, native speakers, or maybe other people who are learning at like your same pace as you is the best way. Like do grammar and writing and like the details later, just focus on speaking and listening because that'll be the best way to boost your fluency, and then the writing and everything can come along after that. Then things I like about France. Where to begin? I guess I'm gonna start with Paris. I haven't really traveled the country that much. I have been to some cities in the south of France, but it was very short term. What I really like about Paris and why I like decided I really want to stay here after I graduate, I think just how the city has like really just something for everyone. And I feel like whatever your background, your social economic status, race, nationality, interest, whatever, like there's something here for you and you can really find your people and like your vibe here. I really love the architecture here. I love just the culture. I love how things are slower. I mean, obviously it still is a city, you know, there's still people who are stressed and anxiety, a lot of, you know, whatever, but I think just the overall pace is a lot slower. Like after work I can like go to a cafe or go to a restaurant or something and like talk for like 3+ hours of like some apéro and like not check my phone, not be stressed about like the world or whatever is around me, think my to-do list. I can just sit and relax and take in life more. And I just really like that about France and about the French and what I've just learned from them, versus like go, work to live, checking the to-do list, always achieving, whatever. It's like, no, you just sit back and relax and just enjoy life. I like that. So I would say those are my favorite parts. Let's start. All right, got 3 more questions. Do you have any tips for someone, in parentheses, black woman, that wants to move to France? Ooh, okay, good question. Do I have tips for someone? Man. Well, okay, I'll link another video that I did with my good friend Mo that's here. Hey girls, I'll see you if you're watching. She goes to school with me. Being a black woman here, I mean, I'm a black American woman, so that's the only experience I can speak to fully, is a bit tricky because it's like, there's like this weird class system or like just nuanced treatments of like, you're black, but like what type of black are you? Because France as a country is colorblind, so they don't recognize race in the way, like, I don't know if you're American like me, or I don't know where you're from, but in America, like, you have the census and like everything is like, everyone has to fit in a box, and like that's not the case here. Like, you're either French or you're not. A lot of people are hyphenated, like French Cameroonian, French Algerian, French, Senegalese, whatever. But for La France, like, it's just you're French, that's it, period. So for black women coming here, I'd say just do as much research as you can coming in of like your industry, what you're interested in here. I watched a lot of videos. I reached out to people like you did, asking me their experiences. I'd say, what else? Any other tips that I would do? I say, just brace yourself for a different level of treatment, but like treatment in the same vein. I don't know how to word it. We worded it pretty well, I'd say, in that video about being a black woman in Paris and what that experience is like. No, it's different for everyone, but then ultimately just say be open to it. As many horror stories I've heard, and horror stories I've heard, my story and other black women I know have been great time of their lives. So I would say just be open to either one and just, take it day by day. Yeah, I don't know. Ooh, I feel like I can answer that better. Let me think. Maybe I'll put it when I'm editing this, I can add in more tips. But yeah, I would say that's just what comes to mind right now. Let me think of any more. Tips. Yeah, I mean, there's places to get your hair done here. There's a lot of black people in Paris. Like, don't hopefully you don't think that's not the case. You won't be one of one, you won't be alone. You can definitely find a community here. Yeah, I would say just keep that in mind. I'll probably put in some more tips. I'm sorry, I could have gave you more. On that one. All right. Next to last question. How is tennis? Is it just a hobby or something you want to take very serious? I love this question. Tennis is great. Let me tell you, I went to Roland Garros last week, which is the French Open, one of the 4 Grand Slams, which takes place here in Paris, right near like the 16th, right outside of the outskirts of the 16th. And I had the time of my life. Oh my gosh, guys, let me tell you. Growing up, I played tennis. I started playing when I was in like 3rd, 4th grade. And I had a real turbulent time, to say the least. Tennis is a predominantly white sport, and with that comes, a certain socioeconomic class of people and treatment of girls who look like me, and just like a lot of just iced out. I had not so great experiences with the sport prior, but then I got to college. I met Kennedy, hey girl, hey, and a fellow black girl who loved tennis as much as I did, and honestly playing with her again really rekindled my love for the sport. And then now that I've moved here, I play a lot with Mo as well and other people here in the city, and going to Roland Garros has just like rekindled the love for it for me. So yeah, I'm definitely now trying to get more into it, more serious into it. I have like a pretty solid base game, but like my serve and needs a lot of work. And I'm trying to work on like my backhand volley. I'm trying to like slice better. But yeah, I definitely want to take it more serious and get into it a lot more, because it's such a great sport. Like I love tennis so much, but it was a bit sour for me for a bit of time. But now I'm recovering from that, you know, past trauma and experiences regarding the sport. Okay, and last but certainly not least, do you like France or the US more? Oh! You trying to give me a trouble? Wait! Okay, wait. So you like... Ooh. Well, last but certainly not least question indeed. Wow, this is going to be a way to end. So I like France or the US more? Let me say it like this. Hold on. Let me get my questions back in my little bag. Let me get my thoughts together, and then I'll answer. Don't worry. I said this is what I get for saying nothing was off limits. Trying to get me in trouble? Trying to get Kamala and Joe mad at me, or Macron mad at me? What you trying to do? Okay, I'll say it like this. Spent the first 22 years of my life in America. Born in Washington, D.C., like I said earlier. All-American girl through and through. U.S. today. In retrospect, now that I'm here, it's my first time living outside of America, living in a foreign country. I'm particularly grateful, and I realize the privilege that I have from being American and being born in America in the time that I did. I was talking to my aunt about this a few days ago, about how Malcolm Gladwell's book, The Outliers, talks about how like people born in certain times, certain places, social environments, and then having 10,000 hours of practice makes them a master at their craft. And I really feel as though me being born in DC, growing up in the area, seeing Barack Obama become president when I was 10 years old in 2008, really put me in this like mindset and this thinking that it's possible. Like whatever I wanted to do was possible, and that like American dream, American spirit, if you can dream it, you can do it, spirit is really within me. And I'm an Enneagram 3 as well, which is like very, American of me. And so I'm particularly thankful for that, and I'm glad that I grew up in the States because of that. But then now that I'm in France, I'm seeing the great flaws of America, and then obviously, flaws in France, but seeing just how we just neglect so many topics, race being at the top of that list, and just how the treatment of people who are just as much American as the next person. In reality, none of us are American. We're all, we're not Native Americans. Really hurts to see, and makes me like really just disappointed and like sad, and sometimes embarrassed of that. And I wish there was just parts of just American society and like the whole individualist mindset and like me, as long as me and my people are good, whatever, bump the 90% of the rest of you while the 10% is good. Parts like that are really disheartening and things I don't like. And then that's what I've liked about being in France, being in Paris, where it is far more communal, and like, you get help and people look out for you, and like you are cared for, I feel like, more as an individual than in America. So yeah, I would say it like that. Thankful for my US upbringing and the lessons and the mindset it's given me. I feel like it's a great foundation, but I'm now thankful and happy that I moved to Paris and I'm in France, and I'm getting a French, European, Parisian lifestyle and mindset in my early 20s. I feel like those two together, I'll be ready to go. I can rock the world. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I'm sending my love to wherever you are in the world where you're watching this. Be sure to like and subscribe for more, of course, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye. Oh wait, I'll do a better picture one. Bye from, can you see it? Me and La Tour Eiffel. Bye.